got another little gun review for you. This is the Kahr P380. Took it out to an ASI match today. Had a great time with it. I didn't expect to. It tore my hand up a little bit, but it shot really well. So let's take a look at a few more stages. We'll kind of come look at the gun in the box. It's gonna fit the box. It might even fit the box with this 7-round mag in it. I don't know yet. I haven't tried. But it's a very, very small gun. Probably the smallest gun I've ever shot. It's smaller than an LCP. But anyway, we'll come back with that, and then come back at the end with some pros and cons. So let's take a look at a few more stages. All right, here we are for a look at the gun over the top of the gun in the box. It fits in the box with the 7-round magazines in there. It's not really tight. It will fit easily. I'm going to assume you can even fit a reload in there, but it'll fit the 6-round magazine then just fine. The features of the gun: slide release on this side. It's nice and big. It's nice and thick. I believe these are MIM parts, but I don't really know. The sights. Don't know if you can see that. We got a kind of a straight 8 kind of idea, or a box in one. You got the 1 dash there, and the front sight is just a white dot. I don't think these are, no, they're not. They're not tritium, just white sights, but I believe they look big. I'm not sure what dovetail this is, but they are dovetailed in, so I imagine that there are sights out there that you could replace those with. In terms of build quality, this thing, I think it's a lot more substantial than an LCP. The LCP feels, I don't really know how to describe it. It feels like it's a little bit of a toy, and this just feels more substantial, like I've got a gun here instead of, something that might break relatively easily. So there it is in the box. If you wanted to shoot it in bug, I think that'd be something crazy, but it's up to you. If you want to take it to a local IDPA match and give it a shot and give it a run, it'll suit that division just fine. Let's take a look at a few more stages, and we'll come back at the end with the pros and cons. All right, so those are the stages with the Kahr P380. I took it out to the Tacoma Sportsman's Club, shot it at the ASI match. I shot yesterday at EPA, had a great time, but wanted to come out and give this guy a little, put it through its paces as well. So I got a few pros. The pros: this is smaller than an LCP, so I don't know if there's a race to find the absolute smallest 380 gun out there, but if you're looking for it, this is what I can find. This is the smallest gun that I have found. I mean, this is the 7-round magazine with the 6-round magazine flush. I mean, like, that is a tiny little package. I will say that the bore height is pretty significant compared to an LCP, but still, this is the thinnest as you can get. This is 0.75 or 0.72, 0.75. I think the LCP is 0.82 inches wide, and this is 0.75, so it's really small. I'll get into that in the cons because it might be a con. The 7-round extended magazine gives me a full grip on this thing, so it is a little bit more controllable with this one. In all of those videos that you saw, I was reloading to this 2nd-round magazine, so I'm getting a full grip, and as I'm pulling my full grip in here, you can see there's like a little spot in the middle of my hand that these serrations are doing their job. So that's a plus, is that these serrations are doing their job. They're locking that thing in to the point where it's hurting me a little bit. So yeah, for a little gun, not a bad little grip with that 7-round mag. It has usable sights, so I don't know if you can see that on there, but compared to an LCP, these are similar in style to the box in one idea, where you've just got the one little bit of color in the back, white in this case, and a white dot like a Glock sight. But these are metal sights, so not too bad. This is a California variant, so on top there's a loaded chamber indicator that says indicator. And then there's etching on the slide that says warning, exclamation point that is like spaced away from the word warning, and then loaded when indicator is up. So if you're an absolute jackass who doesn't know how loaded chamber indicators work, it's written right in there, right there in the gun for you. So thanks, California. So yeah, but the sights are usable. They work better throughout those 6 stages. So I had a tough time with the 10-yard headshots in the warm-up and the cooldown. I didn't record the warm-up, but I missed every single one of the headshots at 10. I had no idea where this was going to hit, by the way. I didn't fire it. I dry fired it a little bit, just kind of in passing, but no idea where this was going to hit or what it was going to do. So I just lined up the sights and sent it for pretty much that whole match, and whiffed every one of those headshots the first time. And then, but like I nicked one of them like off to the right side of it. And I was like, all right, so I think with this little grip, there's the length of pull on here, which I'll talk about in the con. I think I'm just pushing it that way, which is okay. This is meant to be a belly gun anyway. So 10-yard headshots is probably not what it's designed for. Would I've liked that to go on a little better? For sure. But it is what it is. I'm not going to be too upset about it. The trigger pull on this thing is decent. I mean, for compared to an LCP, it's California, so I can't show you the trigger pull without this weird orange fake mag in. But the trigger pull is decent. It's, you hit the beginning of the wall, I guess, even though the wall is long. You come all the way back. The reset is almost all the way out. But compared to an LCP, that's a much better or much more decent trigger than it's the best of the middle of a trigger that you could have. So like I said, the LCP gives me the feeling of it's like I don't know, it's like twingy, whereas this is I pull all the way through. Oh dang, that magazine again. I can pull all the way through and it's consistent the whole way. It's not like the trigger is made out of metal, where I believe the LCP is plastic, and it just feels more substantial. And in general, this feels more like the build quality is just better on this gun compared to an LCP. And I believe the price will reflect that. I haven't looked this up yet, but I'm pretty certain that they're much more expensive than an LCP. But I don't know. Buy once, cry once, maybe. I don't know. The slide locks the rear on the last shot, so I believe I reloaded each time with a round in the chamber, but injecting snap caps here on the last round, it will hold it open. So I believe it would hold open on the last shot. So that's an advantage over an LCP. The LC Maxes that I had would do it, or they would do it sometimes. I think this would do it. I can't say more reliably than LCP Max because I don't really know, but I think it would do it. And the slide release is large. It's not like, if this is the 0.72, if they're including that in the width, then, and I don't know, I suppose I could get out the micrometer off the reloading bench and do it, but if that's it, then this is even thinner, which is just nuts. You know what? I am going to do that. Maybe I'll post that in a follow up or something. But yeah, it has some advantages over the LCP, I think. So yeah, getting into the cons a little bit. The grip is so incredibly thin. It feels like I'm holding. I don't remember what I said this about before, but it literally feels like I'm holding a toothpick in my hand. Like I can reach my hand around and touch my palm with my other hand, or my other fingers on this side. That's how thin this thing is. Like it's just really, really small, and the bore access is pretty high for an LCP. And I don't know, maybe I'm not an engineer. Maybe there's a reason for that. It seems like you could have got that a little bit lower, because this is a striker fired gun as far as I'm aware. If there's an internal hammer in there, I'm unaware of it, but it looks like a striker fired gun. So I don't know why. I kind of get it with LCP because it's a hammer. You got to make room for the hammer. This is just a touch shorter than the LCP, or the LCP too. So shorter as well as thinner, but the height with the 6-round magazine is exactly the same, at least the same according to Handgun Hero, which is the site I use most often to compare guns. The length of pull is really short. I talked about this a little bit already, but with my dry fire mag in here, this, like, I'm like almost at 90 degrees here, but the distance between my hand and the trigger just feels really short. And so like if I'm trying to go fast, which yeah, I don't know. You can make an argument that like this isn't meant to be designed or meant to be designed. This isn't designed to go, be shooting really fast. So okay, but like if I'm shooting really fast, my finger tends to creep further and further in, and as I do that, my shots tend to push further and further that way. So my observation for that, maybe it's different for somebody who can control something this small a little better. My finger rubs underneath the trigger. So a lot of these little guns have this as I'm going here. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but my trigger finger rubs right here underneath the bottom of the trigger, in between the trigger and the trigger guard. It's not that big of a deal. Tomorrow, my finger will be a little sensitive and I'll get over it. But should you need this for a self-defense situation, surely make the sacrifice of harming your finger to save your life or someone else's. But for God, I struggle to think anybody would use this for bug division. But if you wanted to, you might have to do something about your finger. This one's kind of important to me. I get it that this gun was probably not designed to, like, this was designed to go in somebody's pocket or somebody's belly band or something, and you've got 6 shots or you've got 7 shots, and that's what you've got. It's not designed to be reloaded, but reloads were super tough with this thing. The mags, it just seems like, they're supposed to, they pop up a little bit. They will drop free if there's nothing in the way of the magazine, but you put any hand on this thing and like that thing's not coming out. So most of the time I was stripping these magazines, and on top of that, this mag release button, more than anyone I've ever seen, sometimes if you push on this really hard and you're still not quite pushing it as hard as it needs to be, it's not as far into the gun as it needs to be to release the magazine. So that was probably my biggest struggle with it today was, I'm thinking I'm hitting the magazine hard enough because I'm hitting it as hard as I would need to hit any other, but it's just not quite enough to release this magazine and let it fall. So even when I was trying to, break my hand and do this, and to reload it, you're almost holding it with 2 fingers, and like reloading it was just a pain in the ass and a little bit stupid, but that's me. So it's not lefty friendly. I mean, if you're a left-handed guy like me, the slide release is on this side. It's not there's not one on the other side, and the mag release, as far as I'm aware, no, is not reversible. It does have a Glock style mag release with the leaf spring in there, but no, it's not reversible. So you get what you get. But I think that's sort of the intention of this thing, is that like you get 6 rounds, you get 7 rounds if you buy the extension, and that's just what it is. So for a backup gun, a super backup gun, like in your pocket, I think it would do just fine. Kind of the final thoughts with this thing. I took it out. I expected to eat shit with it and to suck with it, and I did. Like that's just the way that it is. But I had a good time, and other than the 10-yard headshots, if this thing's at 7 yards and in, like it's hitting in the zero. I mean, it's not and relatively close together shots. It's not like it's when I say it's accurate, I mean it's not hitting like one round up here and a way down here. It's boom boom, and then the shots pretty close together. So like it's a repeatable gun, and so I don't know if that makes sense, but it's doing what it's supposed to do if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, which is pretty much all that you can ask of a little gun or any gun. So would I carry this? Yeah, probably. I don't think that it would be like I'm going to carry this every day, but like if I needed to like, wear a suit or put something in my pocket, I'd feel comfortable putting this in my pocket. But it's for me, at least it's a 7 yards and under gun, which a lot of these are. So anyway, that's it for that one. We've got here in Washington, the Western Washington Regional coming up in April. Check that out in Practice Score if you haven't signed up already. That one's going. And in June, we've got the IDPA State Championship, which I am the match director for. The stages are in various degrees of approval at this point, but almost done. So looking forward to that in June. And other than that, I don't have many more guns left to review. I got one in the safe over there to do. So a couple more of those coming out, and then we're into the season. So keep watching. We'll see you later.